Let me take you on a midnight ride, baby, you and I. Ooh, so much we could explore. Pull me closer under moonlit skies. Fire in your eyes. Ooh, you got me burning. Well, hello and welcome to the fortress of pop culture. You're listening to the Time to Talk show. I'm Tim Power, and apologies for those of you who listen regularly. It has been a while, hasn't it? There's been no particular reason. I've had my iPhone notes open. I take notes all the time when there's something exciting coming out. I've just been travelling a lot for work, very busy, haven't had time to do a podcast, but believe me, I've been with you, holding your hand as we've negotiated a bloody exciting 2024 in the world of pop culture. There's so much great stuff around. Baby Reindeer, for example. I'm sure you've got a similar story to this. Somebody said, watch Baby Reindeer, it's great. And you're thinking, I really don't want to watch a show about the North Pole. But I always think of watching great shows as something fairly sacred, so I don't binge. For me, it's like going to a really fine chocolate shop and you buy a beautiful box of chocolates and then you just shove your face into it. It's uncouth. You shouldn't do it. That's not the way it should be savoured, right? Baby Reindeer, though, after episode 1, yeah, my face was in that box of chocolates, I've got to say. I just kept watching, and even when I stopped after an episode, do a bit of washing up, vacuum the house, do a bit of laundry. It's just in your mind. I had to keep going back to it. Yeah, but Baby Reindeer, not the only thing happening in pop culture, of course. There's been so much. Madonna setting yet another Guinness Book of World Records with her amazing show in Rio. Gee, I was proud of her. Like, really, it was absolutely phenomenal and spine-tingling to watch her doing her thing at her age. I was just incredibly proud. And the strange little one, I don't know if you noticed, Chechnya, the Russian Republic of Chechnya, announced that they have banned all music that is either too fast or too slow. Go figure. I just found that a little interesting tidbit in my travels. We've had Billie Eilish, she was so humble for a while there at the beginning of her career, but she'd been bitten by that celebrity bug where, I'm so big, I'm so important, I have to have a view on everything. So, of course, she's come out and talked about the wastage of vinyl. I would love to know if Billie Eilish, who sat next to Kylie Minogue at one of those awards not so long back, remember? There was a controversy around it. I think Billie Eilish was actually having a crack at Taylor, who was releasing a whole range of vinyl discs at the time, but our Kylie does it too, doesn't she? We've had Sheryl Crow lamenting the new age of music. What did she say? Oh, people don't listen to full albums anymore. It was sort of like listening to me. I've said that to you many times over the years. You've got to listen to these albums in full. It's the way they're created. It's the way you're going to experience it. So, yeah, Sheryl Crow's had a bit of a lament about that. Maybe she's just getting old and sitting on the park bench. And Lizzo, of course, my absolute... she's the worst of the worst, Lizzo. She is just awful. She's an awful, awful hypocrite of a person. I quit. Oh, no, I'm not actually quitting. Don't worry, yo. I'm not quitting, yo. Oh, God. Go away, Lizzo. Love your music. Hate your hypocrisy. On another note, some people are really upset because Billie Piper says she can't make music anymore because she's in debt for £9 million or something thereabouts, and if she makes music it will just go into that, I think is what she was trying to imply. What a very sad story that is. And of course the age of Kylie Minogue. I can't even begin to tell you, this whole Padam thing is so much more than what they're saying, just a resurgence, a comeback or whatever. She has officially crossed the threshold in the United States. She's a global celebrity now. And she's done it in this way that I find it hard to put into words. She just, for those of you who've been around as long as I have with Kylie, we've seen her tap into the United States from time to time, but even at its peak around Fever, it was just a little, sojourn into the United States and then back again, That Vegas residency, that's not going anywhere. She's going to be doing that for the rest of her career. Vegas is now one of her bases. The photos that are coming up with celebrities there, the lady Jessica Lange, Meryl Streep, well, that was a while ago, I suppose, but she's always in the company of American celebrities now. They know who she is. She's entwined, is what I guess I'm trying to say, in American celebrity culture, not flash in the pan, permanently entwined now. And excitingly, we're now gearing up for whatever it is that she's about to unleash very, very soon. I'd say Hyde Park's coming up, isn't it? Pretty soon in London. Surely this is when we're going to see this repackaging, re-release. I can't quite put my finger on what this is, but it's the branding of tension. They're not throwing it away. They're not disposing of it. And that's smart, right? The padam thing is still bubbling away in the background. So they don't want to say next project. They want to capitalise on that. So I'm imagining we're getting more than what we usually get. Usually we get the re-release of, I don't know, disco or whatever with either remixes or a few extra tracks. I don't know. I've got a sneaking suspicion we might get a little bit more than that with the Tension re-release, if you want to call it that. Maybe she can call it Retention. I don't know. Doesn't quite work, does it? Retention. But whatever it is, like we're on the cusp of new Kylie, and that's so exciting. Apparently she's working with, some big producers again. Is it Lost Boy? I think again is the rumour. And of course, she has released this amazing track, Midnight Ride, with somebody, had you heard of him? Orville Peck? Had an interesting experience. I know one of my great friends, she'd be listening right now, and I told her I was going to say this in the next podcast. She doesn't like any of the music I like, and she particularly doesn't like Kylie. Today she said, she sounds like my friend's British. She sounds like a whingy 7-year-old. It's just like a constant whinge when she sings. So what do you do? But when I said, no, regardless of how you feel, you're listening to this new track today, she was going, Orville. I went, hang on, it's only 3 seconds in. How have you made up your mind already? You're not being fair. But she was reading from the screen saying Orville Peck. And at that stage, I hadn't even dipped into who this dude was. But I am liking what I'm hearing because, like many of you, I saw the first clip of it on TikTok because where was she? She was at another Pride event in the United States, wasn't it? Was it in the United States? Anyway, wherever it was a few days ago. And she said she had something up her sleeve, didn't she? She had something up her sleeve, she was telling us, and this was it, a new song with Orville Peck and Diplo, who we all know. So Orville Peck, when I first heard it, I just thought, wow, that voice, really nice voice. I know he's putting on a bit of the Elvis in parts of this track, Midnight Ride, but his singing voice, I don't like country music, but I've gone to Spotify, I've listened to a few of his songs. He's got this voice like caramel. It's lovely. And he is a gay country musician. He grew up in South Africa. He came to, I think it was Canada, at the age of 15. And yeah, he does the whole Sia thing. You know how she never shows her face, and that's sort of now become her iconography, the big fringe and whatever. He does the same thing, apparently. He always masks his face. It's just a gimmick. Like, there's no big, huge political meaning behind it. But he just seems really cool. You can just pick that sometimes. I haven't heard him speak. I haven't heard him open his mouth. But the way he performed on stage with Kylie, he can move, he can sing. He's just really talented. Is this another example of our Kylie attaching herself to, when Madonna does it, it's quite calculated. Oh, that's the trend and that's where I'll head. Kylie's a very relational person, as we know. So Ollie Alexander comes to mind, right? But she does pretend to know who the next big thing is, and Orville Peck, I don't know, but never heard of him. Maybe I should have. You're probably yelling right now, how did you not know who Orville Peck was? I'd never heard of him. But Kylie, ever since I was a little boy, she keeps introducing me to different types of sounds and music. G'day Orville if you're listening, and what a great track. Split opinions on this one, isn't it? Like, if you listen to the fans, it's like, oh, generic, doesn't suit Kylie, it's a bit bland. I couldn't disagree more. I think this is an absolute bop, and I must admit, the first time I heard Kylie's part, the breathy vocals, which, you know, she's quite well known for, I thought maybe this was a little bit over the top, but the more you listen to it, the more you realise they're really trying to contrast the two styles. Like, he goes all Elvis, then he goes soaring into quite a sweet space, and her breathy vocals, I suppose, maybe it's quite deliberate, but either way, it's a great track. It's infectious. If you're listening to it right now thinking, no, I didn't like it, Tim, you're wrong, I didn't like it. You give it a week, you'll be scrubbing your bathtub going, and then your partner's going to walk in and get a little bit aroused by the fact that you bent over the tub with a little toothbrush, and they're just going to lean against the wall without you noticing. They're going to start rubbing themselves from their chin all the way down their neck and all their erogenous zones, and then they're going to come up behind you and hang on, what were we talking about again? I'm really sorry about that. So look, it's an exciting time in pop culture. It's really lovely to be talking to you again. I have really missed sharing the excitement about pop culture with you for the past few months. But thank you. So many of you still stay in touch. So many of you. There's not a day that goes by that I don't get a message from someone asking, where's the show? Or have you heard this? Or sending me a link. And I really do appreciate that. And I try to reply. If I don't, I apologise, but I generally in the mornings and the evenings, I try to reply to all of you just to let you know where I'm at and what I'm doing, and that the show hasn't disappeared. It's just extraordinarily busy at work. I also had a few tech problems, if I'm going to be honest. Hey, guess what? I did have tech problems. This is a true story. Like, I came to try to do a podcast here and there when I grabbed, an hour or so over the past few months, but I sat here with nothing would work. Today I solved it, and guess how I solved it? Yeah, I just restart the computer. That's all. I've tried everything else, but I tried restarting the computer. There you go. Hey, should we go into the fortress together? Come on, it's been a while. Take my hand, let's go into the fortress together. Coming to you from the mountain fortress of pop culture. You're listening to Time to Talk.
Hello everyone, this is your daily dose of internet.
Hello, this is Kim from Finland. I just listened to your wonderful episode about hypocrite celebrities, and I couldn't agree more. I'm not gonna make this a political thing because I do politics all day, every day, more or less. That's more or less my profession at the moment. But one of the reasons why I love Kylie so much is because she's not political. I don't have to be scared that she's gonna blurt out something stupid and then I'm gonna get angry, because she's like my go-to when I want to just be with a friend, if you know what I mean. For instance, there was this Icelandic singer whom I had supported and really admired since the early 90s, and I'm not gonna be too political now, but in October something happened, and this singer posted on her Instagram page something very, very false. Some very false and aggressive information. And it made me furious, because why do people talk about something that they know nothing about? Without talking too much about the subject that this is about, I've been invested in this thing for 25 years, and I doubt this woman has. I don't think she's ever been to this tiny little country that she's trashing. So I got so upset, so I deleted all her music from my music library in my computer, and all the records, the physical records, I still have, because they're in my basement somewhere, and if they would have been in my apartment, I would have just trashed them too. So I'm so disappointed with these celebrities who think that they know something and they know nothing, and then they spread this false information. It makes me really, really, really furious. And that's another reason why I love Kylie so much. Now I have to calm myself down, because I'm getting all irritated when I'm thinking about it. But I love your podcast. It's so nice. Thank you, Tim. Bye-bye.
Hey, Kim. Long time no speak. Thank you so much, as always, for sending in that audio memo. For those of you who missed the episode that Kim was referring to there, go back and look for celebrity hypocrisy. Essentially, and I couldn't agree more, Kim, celebrities have every right to say whatever they want, like all of us. That's fine. But it's just so false sometimes. And when it's not false, it's misinformed. But maybe, as Kim said, maybe they need to do a little bit of research before they start jumping on bandwagons. I think in that podcast too, you'll find the main point that I was probably ranting about at the time was more about celebrities trying to claim that mantle of victimhood. As I said at the beginning of this podcast, Billie Eilish, totally humble at the beginning, but now that celebrity disease is creeping in, where she feels like, oh, there's an issue going on in the world, I need to say something about it. And that's cool. I'm not saying don't say anything about it, but don't just say it because you think that the world needs to hear your voice in particular, unless you've got some particular expertise. And I'm just trying to rack my brains for who it is. Recently, something offended a celebrity, and they wrote directly to President Biden about it. And got a response. And that's infuriating. Was it Tom Hanks, or... certainly wasn't Tom Selleck. Apparently there's a new Magnum, somebody told me. Magnum PI. I'll have to go and check that out. I wonder if whoever is replacing Tom Selleck has the mustache. But I just... some celebrity was outraged recently and wrote to President Biden. I think it might have been George Clooney. And it's like, wow. Like, where does it happen? Where do you go from ordinary citizen to someone who thinks, I'm outraged, I'm going to go straight to the White House? That's when something has corrupted your brain. Kim, you said that you don't want to talk about it anymore because you're getting all hot under the collar. Yeah, it's happening to me too. It's infuriating, isn't it? If you would like to do what Kim did and send us an audio memo, I really love it. I much prefer it than texts. You know, hearing somebody's voice, you really get the intonation and what somebody's trying to say. It's a much more three-dimensional experience, let's say. So you can do that too. Take out your iPhone, take out your phone, record a voice memo, and email that voice memo to timetotalkaustralia@outlook.com.
This isn't Madonna, and I love listening to Time to Talk.
I am shocked. I can only say I'm shocked. We're going to get sexy, y'all. I can't believe it. Jazzy P is on the line with me. G'day, Jazzy.
What time is it at your place? I'll say good night.
Oh, it's 6:30 at night, but it's morning for you, right?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, jazzy. I feel like I need to go straight into the rap or possibly tell you how incredible you looked in that video clip.
Oh,
or
thank
maybe
you.
just let you know this is absolutely one of Kylie's greatest, most iconic and timeless pieces of work. And guess what? It was you. You came along. You took that original version and you made it even better.
Thank you.
It was fun. Do you know how much of a legendary figure you are in Kylie's world, though? Do you understand just what a legend you are?
No, I didn't know that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because I'm,
Oh my goodness!
See, the thing is, that I've always said to people, sort of, I've always been a person that does what I want to do, and I wanted to rap, so I rapped. But it wasn't about getting famous or having loads of people know who you are. It was more about having fun, because I loved doing stage work, I loved doing recording, I loved meeting people. The only side of it I didn't like was the actual industry and the kinds of people they had within the industry. And if I'm not happy in something, I'll walk away from it. And that's what I'm like. If I don't like doing something, I don't care how much you could earn, what you can do. If I'm not happy, I got to go.
Oh, that is a very nice philosophy in life, though. And I think a lot of us are probably saying, I wish I could have a bit more of that, because all of us feel that in spirit, but it's actually hard in life to walk away from things sometimes. But look, I don't mean to embarrass you. I really don't.
Oh,
but
no, you won't.
honestly,
Nothing can embarrass me.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it, because I'm gushing, because out of all the figures in Kylie's world, like you're right up there. You are legendary for Kylie fans, because let me just, when you came out at the Let's Get To It tour, and just took control of that stadium and took control of the crowd and made it your own and owned the stage, and that performance is just unreal. Like, what are your memories of that time?
Well, the thing is, I was obviously half my age then, and I was quite shy. I mean, Kylie had to give me a bit of a pep talk at one point, because
Really?
yeah, because I was a bit spotty at the time. Because
You actually mentioned that in the documentary, Jazzy. You say that, and it was.
Yeah.
It took me many years to work out what you meant by that, because the way it was edited, she says, "Here's Jazzy P," and you say "spots and all," which made me think, I wonder if you're self-conscious about being on the camera, maybe without makeup. I wasn't quite sure what it meant, but
Well, the thing is,
here
I've
you're telling us
never
now.
been a big makeup person. I don't wear. I try to avoid makeup as much as possible. When on Big Brother, I wore none whatsoever. I got criticised for it, even though everybody always says, "Oh, you should go natural," and I did. And I still got slated for it anyway. But
That's
yeah,
not
in
fair.
those days, I was. People thought I was confident, but I wasn't very confident at all, because I'd come. Again, because my parents, I'm so grateful to my mum and dad, because they seriously put me on the straight path. Because everywhere I went as a young person, I don't mean to sort of jump on a bandwagon or anything, but I was the only black girl at my school. I was the only black girl at Brownies. I was the only black girl at ballet. So I was, even though I did extrovert things, I was quite introvert at the same time. Only I couldn't have explained it at the time, obviously, because I was younger. And I don't know if you noticed, but you'll look on every of the performances, you'll see me stay on one side of the stage.
Yes.
The reason I did that was because, number one, it wasn't my stage. So that's why I never ever went into the middle until Kylie said to me, and it's not because she said don't do it, it's just a deference thing, because I mean, with my past group, we've done a lot of gigs with loads of people, and it's like you sort of know your place. You know what I mean? So that's one of the reasons why I never sort of jumped out right into the middle and carried on with myself, because it wasn't my stage. Now, if you'd seen a show where it's my own show, I'm all over the place. But, sometimes, you've got to show deference to people. And I mean, there was a quote that I'd said that got misquoted when I did do Big Brother. And what I'd said to Kylie behind stage was that, because obviously I was just a big hip hop person. I was into my hip hop and my ragga and all that sort of stuff. And I was anti pop, more or less, as far as having it with my social time. Obviously, being a dancer, you're open to all sorts of music. But then when it's within your social time, then my music of choice would always be jazz and hip hop. So I'd said to her, I used to think your music was shit, I said, but now I've been to your concerts, I'll tell you now, I'd pay money to come and see you, girl. You're wicked. And that's what I said.
And what was misquoted about that? Because that's a lovely thing to say.
Well,
so what got misquoted?
What they did when I went into Big Brother, they just said, Jazzy said that Kylie's music was shit.
Oh dear, they just, of course. Well done, media.
And they left it there. So that's why I'm very surprised that anybody sort of says that, you know, I'm a Kylie icon, because I got a lot of backlash from that.
That might not have rippled out to Australia, because I actually haven't heard that story before. But look, you've got to take me through this. We had the album version of Shocked. It's sublime, okay? And then it was selected as a single, and they wanted to cool it up, and thank goodness they did. Sometimes they do that to Kylie tracks, and they're not as good as the album track sometimes, like in the case of Shocked. It's we not only got this freaking amazing DNA mix, but you came on board. I'm really fascinated. Can you tell us from the start? Tell us everything. How did it happen? What was the brief?
Well, at the time, I was I was being managed and looked after by LA Mix, and recently passed away last September. Les Adams. I'd met him at the Disco Mix Championships, where I'd got into the rapping final, and I was signed to A&M through him, and he was my producer. And he said, "Look, these guys called DNA want to have a chat with you because they've done a Kylie track. They'll send it to you and tell us if you want to have a go on it." It was like, ooh, Kylie, will my rep go down the drain here? And then I heard the track and it's like, nah, I like this tune. It's better than some other people they tried to put me with. So it was like, yeah, I'm definitely up for this. And I went to Bath to DNA's studio because they gave me a week. What I actually did was I wrote it about my partner at the time, so it was quite easy to write. And they just said to me, you know, listen to the track and do a rap connected with the track, and that's how I did it. Thought of
and you based it on a relationship that you were in at the time.
Yeah,
because they're very positive lyrics. They're very positive rap lyrics, and they go so well. They blend so well with the concept of the song as a whole.
Well, I loved the bones in it at the time. At the time. Actually, funny enough, he was cheating on me while I was on the tour.
What?
Yeah.
You're joking. You're singing these lyrics, which are saying how much he honours every part of you.
Yeah.
And while you're on the tour, he's cheating on you?
Yeah.
Oh, Jazzy. Oh, that is so sad and awful.
Well, it was. But the thing is, I'll be honest with you, when I got back, because I asked him, ladies, if you're listening, one of the things, never ask a man if you're sleeping with someone. What you have to ask is, have you got somebody else on your mind? And that gives it away every time. And
because the other question would get a no.
Well, no, what
whereas this one gets a bit of a pull.
I'm not sleeping with her, actually. I'm screwing her, but I'm getting out of bed afterwards. Because they'll take it literally, you see. Because if you say, are you sleeping with somebody, that means shh, 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 in their world.
Technicality.
And
no technicality.
That's not the noise that they're making.
Well, not if they're doing it right, Jazzy. Not if they're doing it right.
But you see, the good thing was that I cried for 2.5 weeks solid. No, I lie. It was 10 days solid I cried for, and I lost 2.5 stone.
Oh, you're joking.
And
this was huge.
Brilliant. I did. Well, I looked absolutely fabulous when I'd done. So I rang him and said, thank you. And I really did. I rang and said, thank you, because I tell you now, that weight wouldn't have shifted unless you did what you did. Like an idiot, I took him back. But I got my beautiful son. He's gone again, and that's fine. That's all well and good. He disappeared as soon as I had my kid. But I've been with him for 7 years. You know, we've been together for a very long time. And I've always said, if I have a child for somebody, I would never have any more. And that's why I've just got my one son. And he's the
I've got to tell you, Jazzy, son. I never would have expected that these lyrics are so intimately wrapped up in probably the most magnificent part of your life story, because it resulted in your son.
Yeah, my boy. And he's the best thing that I could
How old is he now?
He's 26 now.
Oh, wow.
He's
Okay, is he doing well?
Oh yeah, he's an engineer.
Yeah.
He's an apprentice at the moment because of COVID. They haven't been able to sign him off at college, so he can get a job that pays a proper wage. But that's coming. That's coming. And he's in a relationship with a lovely lass. I call her my sissy, short for my no, she's my dilly. He's my daughter-in-law. She's lovely.
That's beautiful.
So he's getting on really, really well, and he couldn't make me more proud. I've never had the police to my door. I've never had wailing parents. Nothing. I've never had any trouble with him at all. He's just absolutely the joy of my life. He's just my baby.
Well, it's a testament to what an amazing mother you would be, which I'm not surprised. What does he think about, some of the work that you've done in the past?
Me and my son are quite open anyway. I've not done anything that's embarrassed him greatly. I've never really, the thing is, because doctors said I couldn't have children originally, so I never kept anything that I did because I thought, well, who am I going to show it to? And then I had my boo. But the thing is, it's sort of, I've had to go trawl the internet to find stuff about myself.
It's all there.
Because
it's all there.
Well, I went onto Wikipedia though, and somebody written a pile of crock, so I had to rewrite it. And I put my first name on. I don't really understand how to do it. It was by fluke I was able to, but somebody's been back on there again and referred to me by my surname, which I thought was just reserved for criminals myself. Whenever you write about somebody.
Manson.
Yeah, well, there you go. But I'm referred to as, they've left what I've written essentially. But they've referred to me as Bennett, so I don't know who really does Wikipedia. But
because your real name is Pauline Bennett,
Yeah.
So we know you as Jazzy P in Kylie world, which is a huge world and one that honours you and pays homage to you. And I'm on my knees now as I talk to you, in fact.
Yourself. Well, the thing is, I'm called Jazzy for a completely different reason, because I was the only girl that used to go to dance on the jazz floors, because we used to have all-dayers back in the 70s. And early 80s, where you'd go and dance from 11 o'clock in the morning to 11 at night. And they used to let us bring our own drinks. And we never used to drink alcohol. It was all pop. And just literally dance all day with towels. That's why you always see me with a towel, because I sweat a lot because I dance a lot. And I'd won a dance competition when we were changing over from one to another. And on this particular occasion, I beat Bulldog, which is something nobody could really do because he's a wicked jazz dancer. But I was the only girl that ever used to be on the jazz floor, so they used to call me Jazzy. You see, we go to
and it stuck from childhood.
Yeah, from I was 14.
It's a great name, though.
The guy that plays Sam in EastEnders, and he's also in quite a few of the kidult films, a guy called Cornell John. He used to be in our opposing dance group, because we were called Body Talk and then Hot Wax, because we called ourselves Body Talk because we loved Lee John. And then we called ourselves Hot Wax afterwards, and he was in a group called Atmosphere from Birmingham, and we used to dance against each other. I've still got photographs of it, actually.
Oh, wow.
We're all in these Lycra all-in-ones.
You could use those for blackmail, I reckon.
So, I don't care. it was, and we did all the dressing like hot gossip thing, and that's before I started my rap group, the Brutal Ladies. But I tell you something, the kids these days really don't know what it's like to have fun in a club, because most of the kinds of clubs we used to go to are closed down now. But as I say, we used to dance all day. And if you had a beef with somebody, you took it out on the dance floor. There wasn't any of this knifing and shanking and shooting rubbish.
Oh, I like that. If you had a beef with someone, you take it out on the dance floor.
Oh, yeah,
I love it.
Every time. And listen, we used to have a boom time. It was, those days were the ones. But all the kinds of, proper nightclubs now closed down. We never used to have people standing around the side watching unless they were watching somebody in the circle.
It doesn't surprise me that you've got music in your blood. This goes right back by the sound of it.
Yeah.
Hey, can I ask you that it's interesting that you say that you felt that you looked fabulous after, the issues with your relationship, because you looked smoking on that tour. Honestly, can you tell us about that outfit? Did you choose it yourself, or did somebody?
No, it was made for me. It was made because I had a friend called Sven Pedersen. He's in lighting now, so he does lighting for major concerts and things, so I never get to see him. But Sven made all of my outfit for the Kylie tour. He made the shorts with the velvet shorts and the black
Yeah.
that I wore on top of the pops. He made that for me. He made my crushed velvet jacket. I've still got them. He made my leather coat, my leather all-in-one, and he designed it all for me. He said, if you're going on a tour, girl, you got to look good. And he designed all my, like, between the two of us, we designed all my leather outfit. And that was made specifically for the Kylie tour.
You looked amazing, honestly.
you.
And I've got to say, this is with all, obviously, I'm a Kylie fan, but with the greatest of respect to Kylie, there's a lot of talk from people around that time and to this day amongst Kylie fans that once you've finished your thumping intro where you just inject life into that arena, Kylie's poor voice does seem to pale in comparison. There is quite a contrast between what you did at the beginning of the song and then when she hits up to the microphone and does, the normal part of the song. There's quite a contrast.
Yeah, but the thing is, you see, what you got to remember is with the singing vocal, what you've got to do is like it's a love song, so she had to lilt it. It couldn't be like tell. It couldn't if she delivered it in the way that I delivered the rap, it would have been all wrong. It would have been all wrong. It had to be croony, singy. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I couldn't believe her concert. It was like, oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And I'm telling you now, the girl sang live and in my personal opinion, she did a bloody good job. As I said to you, I told her I would pay money to go to one of your concerts because you see, I'm all about the drugs. Obviously, having a dance background, I'm all about the drama and theatre, and she makes it all roll into one.
That's exactly right. It's a true performance, right?
Yeah, and that if I'm paying money to go and see somebody, I don't want to see somebody in a pair of jeans with the head shoved down into a microphone and you can't see the face. I want a show. Yeah. I want to be entertained. It's
and
not
she
just
is the showgirl, Jazzy.
I'm telling you, and I'm gonna be honest with you, the one thing I feel away about is I've not been invited to come and do any of the concerts.
Yes, well, actually, I wanted to ask you about that because we fans demand a reunion. She's done a reunion with Jason. She's done a reunion with Nick Cave. When's the Jazzy P reunion happening?
I think maybe it's because I'm a minion. I don't know.
No. Tell us, that's interesting you say that. Do you feel that Kylie sort of works in this bubble or it's hard to get through? Because I've heard that quite a few times. What do you mean when you say you feel like you're a minion?
I mean, I've not tried. I mean, I did ring somebody years and years ago because I saw these feathers. And I thought, I want some of that.
Yes.
She did this tour, the loads
the greatest
of
hits.
And I wanted to do that tour, but I got nowhere with that really. And it's like, something. What the hey? If they wanted me, they would have found me anyway. You know what I mean? Hey ho, get on, teach my kids. Because I mean, I'm teaching dance still. I mean, after I came out of Big Brother, it was a bit devastating because my career was in tatters. I'd had loads of people cancel contracts for me to teach. At schools, and it was like, you can't go near our kids because you're a bully, and it completely wrecked my career, to be honest. So
see, in Australia, I'm going to put my hand up here, and a lot of people will just sigh and think I'm a sad goat. I didn't know that you'd gone into the Celebrity Big Brother house. I knew this is the first time hearing of it.
It wasn't listen, they didn't put me in the celebrity one; they put me in the normal one. And I mean,
you went in the normal Big Brother house?
Yeah, and I've seen some people that have done less than me in the Celebrity Big Brother house, but
I'm sure of that.
I've come to realise they operate on a completely different. I mean, I don't know what it's like in Australia, but over here it was a case of they play people, and all the tests that they do for you beforehand isn't for your welfare; it's for their research. For them to
psychology.
It's for them. It's not about they make out that it's for your welfare, but it's actually to make sure that they put you with who they want to put you with. I mean, you could probably go back and take a look, but like there was a girl that came in. Sometimes when they put people in afterwards,
intruders.
They put a group of people in a few days after us, and this one girl came up to me and said, you know something, I'm not happy with the way that you are in this house because usually everywhere I go, I'm the top dog or the leader of the pack.
Oh.
And I said to her, well, you know something, darling, I'm not a dog and I'm not a wolf. So you get on and do whatever it is that you do. You go to it. I ain't standing in your way at all. And from that moment, she orchestrated to get me out of that house. But you see, they never aired that conversation. All they aired was the results of her pissing me off for ages and ages and ages, which isn't nice. By the time you've annoyed me long enough, I'm going to tell you about yourself. And that's what they did. And they just showed me. And the thing that I realised with them, because what they'd said to me then was, when I was leaving the house, if you cry and show some kind of contrition for bullying her, you know, you'll be fine and you'll get your TV show and whatever. I said, you know something? I bullied no one. And I'm not crying for anybody. Not in the slightest, because I bullied. But what I found out afterwards, she was going to the side cameras every now and again and puffing on a cigarette and going, she shouldn't talk to me like that. She shouldn't talk to me like that. When I'd actually had no conversation with her at all. So,
Jazzy,
you know, yeah.
it sounds bloody awful. It sounds absolutely like my worst nightmare. They've selected people.
The aftermath was because, I mean, they said, oh, you can go home with great security. They put an 18-year-old, they gave me to an 18-year-old and she put me on a train to go home. And I was the most hated woman in the country at the time. Apparently, I was more hated than the England football manager.
What year was this?
This was 2014.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it wasn't nice. My son got
It changed
abused.
your life.
It did, because, I mean, one thing it made me do was stay in a relationship that I should never have stayed in, because I was a bit on the scared side of coming home, because I'd had excrement put through my letterbox, I'd had a debt rat, somebody threw something in my son's face, I'd had loads of hate stuff saying that, you know, I'm the nigger that I am, I need to go back to my white slave master so he can rape me and kill me.
Oh,
that's all I deserve.
Jazzy.
I had the whole kit and caboodle. It was my poor mom. Oh dear God, she took to her bed. She's all right now, but it aged her. It aged her.
That is so intense. That is so intense.
And they just completely swept. You see, the problem for them was I wasn't the acceptable white face of TV. If I'd been, and no disrespect to her, if I'd been an Alison Hammond or a Brian Bayer, one of those jolly happy singing ones all the way through and never showed that I have got more than one face. Every person has got more than one face. It depends on what situation you're in at the time. It's as simple as that, you know. And but I wasn't always the happy, smiley Negro that they wanted on British TV, so I made them uncomfortable. So they had to get me out of the house, because the other thing that I was doing at the time was I was playing peacemaker, and they didn't like that either, because there were two girls in there, Helen Wood and Danielle, and they kept arguing all the time. And it was always over misconceptions. And I'm trying to make them understand, one, learn the Queen's English so you understand what somebody's really saying to you and you don't assume you hear something that somebody's not saying. You see, they're not going to air stuff like that. They're not, because...
not controversial enough.
No, it isn't. You know, because I mean, I told the kids about the kids. Well, every single person in there could have been my child. I was old enough to have been able to have every single one, and they told me not to talk about my menopause, because I realise now that if I behaved quirky or whatever, it could have gone down to that, which would have gained me sympathy. They didn't want me to have sympathy. What they did was they built me up before I came. Because when I saw the VT that they'd made of me, I thought, flipping hell, who's that? You know?
Wow.
But it was me, but it's just the way that they'd edited it. It was like, wow, who is that? You know, I said, God, put me for Queen, why don't you? You know, and...
So who looked after you? When you came out, you said it was intense, and you've described all those atrocious things. Who did you have in your corner? Who was looking after you?
Nobody.
Really?
Absolutely no one. Absolutely no one.
That was, so it's a few years ago now. How have you picked up the pieces, and how are you now?
Well, luckily for me, there's a company called Onside that have produced all these youth zones since the youth service got closed down. And the guy that used to volunteer for me, when I used to run these open air events for young people to come and perform at, you know, if they didn't have a venue. And he called me and said, well, why aren't you making an application to come and work here? Because nobody wants me. He says, well, I want you. So I made an application and I got the post as a dance worker.
And that's what you continue to do to this day?
I still teach that. I'm going to reopen my dance school as well, because I did have an independent dance school, but that went down the pan too. But one of my problems is anyway that I stopped charging people. I just let them come. So I've got to stop that. So I've got to get somebody else to be my business manager because I'm rubbish. I'm rubbish in that way.
You do the work. Let someone else run the business. You just do the lovely side. Because it sounds to me, Jazzy, that you're incredibly big-hearted. It's amazing that, to me, the little part that I know of you, that you could have been portrayed like that. But like you say, that's the power of editing, I guess.
Oh, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, I had all sorts of people. I'd never have her look after my children. She's vile. And as I say, based on the lies that the girl had told me in the house, the guy that had to vote for the power, because he had the power to vote for one person and one person only, and that person would be up for eviction and more than likely go. And he picked me. But he picked me based on the things that she'd said, but she'd been lying. And you see, I'm a person, don't say something about me that I've said something that I haven't said. If I've said it, I will put my hands up and say, yes, I said it. I'll tell you the context in which I said it also if I need to. I won't.
You're a straight shooter.
Yeah, but if you say say I've said something I haven't said, I will flip the script. And they knew that because I told them during all my interviews and everything. And that's exactly what happened in there. I got accused of doing stuff I hadn't done, and I flipped the script because I will not be accused of things I haven't done. I will defend myself to the hilt. And that's why, what's her name that took over from Davina? I like Davina. Emma, what's her face? Emma that was, can't even remember her surname anymore. That's not so bad. Ryland Clark Neal is the most wonderful man in the world. I absolutely adore him. He was brilliant. But that Emma one, she went after me with guns, and to say they wanted me to cry, but I had nothing to cry for. I had nothing to cry for, in my opinion, because I hadn't bullied her. She just kept riding me and just bothering me all the time. Leave me alone. When I say to somebody, I don't know if I'm your friend. I don't know whether I'm your friend or not, but I just don't like how you behave. There is a difference. You can have friends that behave badly. You can have friends that behave well. I'm just saying to you, I don't know you well enough to be my friend, but I know I don't like how you behave.
Is life good for you now, Jazzy?
God,
have you got professional satisfaction?
Not quite. But my main thing are my kids. Unfortunately, with the lockdown being on, we missed the competition because the last competition we did, we came back with 6 first places. Adults, I haven't got that much time for, but the kids, they're just, I love them.
When you talk about your kids, you're talking about the kids you teach, right?
Yeah. That's why I only needed one child. Yep. I've had quite a few pass through my home and have to live with me for certain reasons of their own, but it's been safer for them to be with me. And that's what I say about my son. He's always been happy to share me. He's never been like, that's my mom, leave her alone sort of thing. Any child I've had to bring into the home to stay with us for whatever time, he's always shared his living space, shared his time, shared his toys, shared everything with them. And that, I can't wish for a better son. He's been very accommodating.
He sounds amazing.
And I've had some crazy
and I tell you what,
in this house.
I bet. But Jazzy, you know what? I hope you realise this because I'm feeling like you've been through a lot. You have, but I want you to know that you clearly are bringing a lot of joy and putting a lot of confidence in a lot of people to this day. And every single day, somewhere around the world, you're still bringing joy from your work into people's lives. It must be a hard concept for you, because you don't see it, but I can guarantee you it's there. Certainly I can talk for myself, but I know many fans who think very highly of you.
And it's really nice.
It says a lot about you, Jazzy, that you've managed to rise through all of that and be doing the type of work you're doing, because it has a lot of meaning. What you're doing now has a lot of meaning.
Yeah, a few of my kids have got their own dance schools and teachers and things now, and some of them are on the West End. So it is really nice. And I know that even if I were to die tomorrow, I've had a wonderful childhood. I've had a wonderful life. I've been able to do the things I've wanted to do. If they brought fame, great. If they haven't, great. If they brought money, great. If they haven't, great. It's just being able to live a life, And
by your own rules, because just from this short conversation, you say what you mean and you're very true to yourself, Jazzy. You talk from the heart.
I try my best. It's no point being a fake, because then
Kylie must have seen. Can I just say,
Yeah.
Kylie must have seen some vulnerability in you if she gave you a pep talk.
Yeah, because as I say, I was self conscious about my size, because I was a big. I've always been a big lass though, but I just didn't feel as though I was in proportion.
Can I ask what did Kylie say to you in the pep talk?
Well, she just basically smacked me on the back of the hand and said, "Listen, you're a beautiful woman. You need to realise that about yourself and stop doing yourself down." And her mom, oh gosh, her mom is just wonderful. She's a lovely woman. She made me eat my greens.
So Carol was looking after you too,
Yeah, on the tour.
because she was on the tour.
Yeah, she was on the tour, and she made sure we all had our dinner at the right time, made sure we went to bed at the right time and everything. Lovely woman. Really, really nice. She's got a nice family, because I met Danny at the time as well. She wasn't singing that much then, but she was singing it. And they were just normal people, which is what I liked.
What was it like spending time with Kylie?
Lovely.
Did you feel a star quality?
Yeah, we compared thighs. Because I was saying
You compared thighs with Kylie?
Yeah, because like her one thigh, bless her, was half the size of, like, one of my thighs could make the whole of her two legs.
She's very tiny, isn't she, Jazzy?
Oh, she's, as we say, lily bits. She's just lily bit and cute. But yeah, she was lovely, absolutely lovely. You couldn't have had a better co-worker, you know.
And did she ever tell you what she thought of the work you did on the rap?
Yeah, I mean, because we spent time together in the dressing rooms, and we didn't spend time together in the daytime. We just saw each other on set, in the evenings. And did I see her and at the video? Yeah, at the video. But yeah, I mean, she was just a normal, nice person, and she practiced her steps and stuff in the changing room with the lads. And, just very down to earth. No, nothing bougie or, fake grandiose about her. Just a lovely, lovely person.
She really wanted to cross over into the sort of cooler scene around that time, and rap would have helped. Like, did she ever, like, were you there when she first heard that rap, for example, or do you remember a conversation about the rap lyrics? Because I would have thought she'd be absolutely chuffed.
It was all done through producers.
Yeah.
Which is why I got conned out of the deal, really, because, I mean, I'd make nothing from it.
You make no royalties from this?
Nothing.
You're joking me, Jazzy, because she sings that rap a lot herself.
I know.
Wow, and not a cent.
Well, the managers I had at the time were kind of crooked, to say the least. They got me to sell over the rights for 500 quid.
You sold over the rights to the shocked rap lyrics for 500 quid?
Yeah, because they told me that was the best I could get.
Jazzy.
I know.
Oh, no.
I know.
Oh, sorry, I don't want to make you feel bad, but
I don't feel bad, because the thing is,
they're iconic.
It's got nothing to do with her. You know what I mean? It's got
to
do with the bad management that I had at the time, and how
the
much money
machine
they were making from it. Because I had somebody that was driving me around that I didn't know I was getting paid for doing PAs. I thought you just did them as part of your record promotion. He was picking up £500 from each one, and we were doing about 5 a night over a 2-week period. And it all went up his nose.
Oh, and you didn't even know about it, yet alone get it?
Nope.
Oh,
that's what I eventually did, was just buy myself out my record contract, because I thought
that is amazing.
I can't bear being with these kind of people. Because, I mean, I'd have people offering me speed and coke and all, and hello, look how lively I am already. What would I be like on speed? You know what I mean? What would I be like on speed? Please.
You're full of energy already.
Well, this is it. And I mean, I loved, like, the actual, all the sound guys. I tell you, I have to put my hats off to them. And one thing people have got to remember, when they go on tour, always respect your sound guys, because they're the ones that can make and break you. Very easy.
What do you mean by that?
Because
how so?
If you choose to be ignorant, all it needs is a tweak of a button, and you sound like crap.
Wow.
One thing they did, and they didn't do this maliciously, on the last night of the tour, they turned our monitors to Pinky and Perky. So we were hearing ourselves back as Pinky and Perky. Because they
That
will
must have
play
been
a prank
difficult.
every day. No, not at all, not at all, not at all. Because the thing is, it's a stage thing, you know. Because we know that the audience can hear, and we know that we're good at what we do, so they know that they can afford to do something like that, and it wouldn't affect what you're doing. Do you see what I mean? It's like a prank they can pull, but we know that we all know what we're doing, so it doesn't affect what we're doing in the slightest. It doesn't affect what the audience is hearing, and it doesn't affect our performance. But you know, always look after your sound men, because they're lovely, and the amount of work that they have to go through, and your lighting men, to get you looking good. You know, because I've looked at myself, that flipping heck, man, if it wasn't for that photographer, Jesus Christ.
Oh no. Honestly, you couldn't have looked any better. What were the crowds like?
Oh, they were amazing. It's like, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing. It was like, you're standing there thinking, they all know my lyrics. Oh,
Yes.
wow. Oh,
How special.
wow. It is the most incredible. That for me was the most incredible thing about doing the whole stage thing of anything I ever did, regardless of whether it was Kylie's tune or anything. Just when you go out there and your audience pays you that respect, it is, and that's why I've always said, you know, when you go on a stage, pay your audience respect them, because they pay you respect, and they pay you. You know, they will come
And
out. Go on, sorry.
Jazzy, you know that the fans know the lyrics to your rap. I would honestly bet better than you. Do you reckon
Probably.
that would be fair?
There's every
Do you still remember them?
possibility. I think so. I haven't
Would
done them for
would
a
you
little
would you
while.
do it for us?
Let me have a quick drink here.
I'll even join in.
It's a hot day. I can't remember which one came first.
Well, that's the thing, because in the standard single, we've got the one that starts with "Shocked like the lightning from up above." But a lot of people don't know that on the extended mix, there's
One on the end.
just as good a rap, which is "Shocked your love hit me in the right spot." Called "Yesterday and Today I'm Hot."
That's what
You
I
came
always
to me
remember.
and I said, "Why not?"
And
That's
the
what you were
slogan.
doing at the beginning.
Right. Yeah, because there's
Yeah,
one.
that's what you did
one
on the
that starts
tour.
At the end. Yeah, because that's what I did for the 12-inch single.
Yes,
When we used
yes.
to have them. It's amazing when you think that, you know, you just don't have them anymore.
It's so sad, isn't it? I loved collecting 12-inch records. That was my favourite thing in the world.
I've got a huge collection of jazz. I mean, I'm going back as far as Louis Jordan and the Timpani Five.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I've got a huge collection. But yes,
So
I do remember it. Which bit?
Go for it.
I can remember that bit that you said first, and then you have to remind me of the first bit.
Okay.
Right. Shell shut. Your love hit me in the right spot. Call yesterday and today I'm not. You came to me and I said, why not? And this is what I got. Love. No conditions, no ties, no rings.
no
Just
ties,
be
no
together
rings.
and do our own thing. Because you know, I think you're coming in a relay. So it's like,
See, I'm doing what the sound men were probably trying to think. I'm sorry. I can't help it. It's infectious. I don't want to throw you off. Shocked by the power. Keep going. I'll shut up.
By the power of your love, I'm the fingers, you are the gloves, surrounding me in protective love. I can't get enough. Take me any place, any old time. Am I dreaming? Is this sublime? To you, I dedicate this rhyme. Your love divine. I'm shocked.
Dung 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 dung. Oh wow! Thank you so much.
I wrote it the day before I recorded it.
Oh really?
Yeah. Yeah. So
What was it like recording it too? Like when you hop into that recording studio, like did it take a few takes or?
If I remember correctly, we did it in a one. Because that's one thing that most people do tend to like about me when I go into a studio. I'm not one of these drop-in merchants.
You know what you're doing.
Yeah, I'll tend to do it all in one go. And if I've gone with music, I've got the music done already, and all you have to do is reproduce it and make it sound better than I did in the first place. Because it's just that in the past, when you first start out, you get a lot of engineers that claim they're producers just because they've touched your music, and you've got to be very careful with that, because then they sort of say, well, I produced this, when actually, no, you were my engineer. and I
Yeah,
produced
you just
it.
push the on button.
There you go. And up and down when I asked you to. So, I mean, you know, you do have to be kind of careful. I've learned these things. So I've done a bit of advocacy for some bands in the past
I
as
tell
well.
you what, you've learned a lot of life lessons. I've also got to ask, are there any other lyrics for Shocked that never escaped the vault, or have we heard everything that you wrote for Shocked?
I think I just wrote those two because I was just asked to write a
Yeah.
beginning and an end.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just did those two. I think
They are absolutely
I'd have to look in my
sensational.
book. I've got a book buried somewhere. I mean, because there's loads of tracks that I've done that have never been, published and stuff.
What was it like the first time you heard the track Shocked, the DNA mix that you were featured on? Can you describe where you were, or do you recall hearing it for the first time?
Well, obviously I heard it because we had a copy and heard it
Recording.
ourselves, but to hear it out live, what did I hear it on? I think I heard it on Radio 1.
Yeah,
And I was with my mum.
yeah.
It was with my mum, and it's like, Mum, this is the tune that's got me in it, this is the tune that got me in it. And then when they saw me on Top of the Pops. But I mean, the thing is, the video, I was a bit disappointed with doing that because I went.
Now tell me about the video. And you're saying because you look amazing in the video
Through the
keyhole.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah,
That was it. Because I went there and there's no shoes for me, so I'm thinking, okay, there were no shoes, and then it's like,
right.
okay, if there's no shoes, then they produced this keyhole. I'm thinking, all right, that means there's not going to be many full body shots either, because I wasn't keen, and still to this day, I'm not very keen on full frontal photographs. I don't know why. I'm just not a photograph person, I suppose.
Okay.
I mean, I do them when I have to, sort of thing. And I don't mind doing photo shoots from far up. It's like, say you've got a camera in my face, like, I'm not really keen.
Oh, fair enough too. So when they pulled out the keyhole, though, you were a bit perplexed.
Yes, I was thinking, what are they going to do with this? And then this person started shaking it in front of me while I was dancing. And I'm like, okay. So when I saw the final video, I was disappointed with the video, I must admit. I can't lie.
Really?
Yeah.
Go tell us why.
Because I wasn't in it much. in the bit that I was in,
You're obscured.
Very. And I'm like, so I had to say to people, well, look through the keyhole and you'll see me. I had to get all Giles Brandreth on them. So then we did Top of the Pops. And
now that was fun for you, wasn't it?
yeah, that was. I mean, I did meet like another high-end artist, but I didn't like them because they were very demanding.
Who was that?
Can't say. I can. Susie and the Banshees. It was. And they were very demanding, and they weren't very nice to the crew.
Oh, in what way were they demanding?
Like, that over the top riders, and just the way they spoke to people, really. And I'm thinking, your crap stinks the same as everybody else. And especially like when you're with somebody like Kylie, who treats everybody nicely as well.
Yeah,
the
contrast.
And that's the one thing. It's like, because I mean, I'd gotten to meet, because my favourite ever that I met, because I'm not really overawed by famous people, I'll be honest with you. But James Brown was the one for me. Is that
you met James Brown?
Yeah.
Really?
He said, "You can call me James." Yeah, that was
nice.
That was through DMC as well, because the Disco Mix Club. That's where I got the rapping championship. That's where I've got to meet Les Adams.
Wow.
Rest his soul. And so that's where I met most of the hip hoppy people, like Moni Love. That's where I'd first met her as well, and Pogo and Grant,
wow.
all the Scratch Professor, Omar used to gig there a lot as well. There ain't nothing like this guy. There's nothing like this. You must know that tune.
Yeah. Oh, you've had some amazing experiences, though, haven't you? Really?
Yeah.
Honestly, you like you said, if you died tomorrow, you could certainly say you've had a good life, not mundane like the rest of us, Jazzy.
Yeah, not without a doubt. I've had a brilliant time, and it's been good. It's been good. It's been good.
You mentioned earlier that you would love to have gone on the greatest hits, with the Showgirl, and done Shocked.
Those costumes so badly. Well, they're bustiers.
Oh, really?
Corsets.
Oh, imagine Shock done like that. Amazing.
Oh God, yeah.
We could have done a very special version.
Yeah.
What do you think about when you've heard Kylie do your lyrics? Because she generally does the rap herself now, from Fever onwards, really. Does she make a good job of it?
You know something? I ain't even gonna lie to you. I haven't heard her do it. I heard this
Really?
one woman that they put in my place one time when, because I was in Paris at the time touring another track, and they put some other girl, and she sounded terrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know who she was.
Well,
but
she had big shoes to fill.
She's oh no, I've never heard Kylie do it.
Yeah, she does. She's even done the second part of your rap too at some stage.
Okay, well, she owns it now,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
suppose. Well, I don't
You
know
look
who
up
owns it, to be honest. I really don't. I just know that I had to sign it away.
I just feel weird that your work's out there owned by someone. I can't imagine that because I write a little bit here and there myself, not music, but I can't imagine that you've put words out into the universe and they're actually technically belong to someone else. That's odd.
Because I mean, because that's knowing what I know now. That's the last thing I would have done. The last thing I would have done. But
Yeah.
on the advice that I was given at the time, shame they haven't got one of those. What are they? The remember they did the pips. Did you have a bad manager? We'll see how much money your manager owes you.
I'd like to see Jazzy P on Judge Judy with your ex-manager.
I'm telling you. Because I mean, the thing is, I was given very, 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 very bad advice. But I'm quite
look,
sure
and that happens to all of us when we're young, though, doesn't it? I mean, look,
it certainly does.
For all of us, like for you, it was in the music industry. For the rest of us listening, it was, in whatever field we were in the early days. You make big mistakes. I think of, property that I had that I sold ridiculously low, and we all have those moments. But I suppose yours is a little bit more public. Yes, exactly. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yeah.
Jazzy, you've brought a lot of joy into Kylie world, and you will forever be in the hearts of Kylie fans, because I tell you what, you put massive smiles on the face. I still pull out the Let's Get to It tour quite often, and believe me, I will never turn it off until I've watched you come out and do your thing.
That's lovely. Yeah, I've got a video of that now, because somebody in Australia sent me a copy. It's very grateful.
Oh, okay. It's also on YouTube now. Someone recently uploaded it in high definition.
Yeah. Oh, it's an HD now. Woo.
It is an HD now. That's right, because it used to be quite grainy and it was not very pleasant to watch. But yeah. Okay. I'll tell you what, Jazzy, it's been an absolute pleasure. You're so real. I love it. You're such a real person. I just adore it.
Thank you. It's been lovely talking to you.
Yeah, and thank you so much for your time. You have a fantastic day.
And you, my lovely. Take care. And don't be a stranger.
Bye.
Bye.